Hello, and welcome to day 65 of 99 Days of Deeper Embodiment. My name is Jason King. I'm just going to pause for a moment and wait for others to join. If you're joining, please leave a comment so that I know that you're here. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, wonderful. So day 65. Today, I'm going to talk about a little bit more around drugs, substances, and alcohol in relationship to embodiment. Because I'm still feeling that this is something that is showing up in a big way. And I want to speak very clearly on it. My experience is that on this planet, the use of drugs and alcohol is so prevalent, is so widespread, and has been with this planet for so long that it's been forgotten, A, what they're actually for, and B, what life is like without them. And this is something that adds a lot of complication to any discussion around embodiment. Let's say, for example, that drugs, alcohol, tobacco did not exist on this planet at all. And any emotion that arose within the collective field could not be met with a pull towards a habitual use of a substance. And so it would have to be met in the moment and felt. And if it wasn't able to be met in the moment and felt fully, then there would be understandings around how to make space for it within the collective consciousness. If something shows up, for example, an emotion, and you don't have a substance to change it, to modify it, then what do you do? it becomes almost impossible to avoid it. The emotion will keep showing up over and over and over again. The charge will keep showing up and will keep pushing up against you, and you will keep seeing it over and over and over. But if you have a substance, if you have something to smoke, if you have some sort of habit-based way of meeting that, then you can continue to avoid it. Whether it's medicating with pills, whether it's smoking marijuana, whether it's smoking tobacco. Whether it's drinking alcohol, whether it's harder drugs and substances. And there's a whole plethora, there's a smorgasbord. And this isn't even going into habit-based ways of meeting it that don't have to do with substances, such as masturbation, such as sexual fantasy. You see, as long as we're continuing to use substances to meet what we're feeling in a habitual way, then we're avoiding embodiment. We are moving away from embodiment. So, to be very clear, embodiment is always moving in the direction of more honesty, less deception, more honesty. And the way that looks is that there's more ability to be with what is here and now. There's more ability to be present with what one is feeling in the moment. And there's more ability to see with clarity what is being felt. When we are moving away from embodiment, then we are moving away from the moment, away from what is being felt, covering it up in some way, avoiding feeling it in some way, always reacting, although the way that we react can be very subtle. So a very visible form of reaction would be if every time I'm feeling something, then I smoke a cigarette. That's a very visible reaction. So now, once I recognize that, and I choose to meet that emotion rather than smoke a cigarette, then I'm embodying. So, in the early stages of embodiment, it's all about dropping the most visible form of habits, whether that be drinking alcohol, whether that be smoking cigarettes, in any way that you're numbing yourself. In the early stages of embodiment, it's all about dropping them. However, and this is where it gets interesting, it can be difficult to drop a substance if there isn't enough consciousness yet. And so, how can we expand consciousness so that the habit can be dropped? It becomes very easy to drop cigarettes if there's enough consciousness in my body to where I'm very much feeling what the cigarettes are doing. If I can feel within myself, oh, this is actually what is happening, to my ability to actually be present in my body, to my ability to feel when I smoke a cigarette. If I smoke the cigarette and I can feel that consciousness is leaving my body, and my ability to stay with the emotion and be present with the emotion and be present with the sensations that I'm feeling in my body leaves my body when I smoke a cigarette, that I'm not able to be as present, then naturally there's going to be an awareness that shows up. And that awareness is going to reject smoking cigarettes eventually. Eventually, they will become intolerable. Eventually, they will no longer be something that is wanted or desired because it feels better to not smoke. It feels better to not numb. And so if you find yourself in one of these looping habits around the substance, no matter what the substance is, then a very quick way to start to bring more awareness to it is to become very, very present as you are engaging with the substance. And if you have no ability to be present at all right now, then that means that some sort of practice is required. Some sort of practice that gets you into your body, becoming present with yourself, is needed. And this is crucial. If you commit to 30 days of a very easy yoga kriya, and during that 30 days you're still engaging with one of these behaviors, it will show up. You will begin to feel it. And naturally, as it shows up, there's more awareness brought around it, and it will become more visible what you're actually using the substance to avoid feeling. The substance does not matter. Yes, you're using it in a way that modifies your ability to feel and move and be present within your emotional body. So this stunts your ability to evolve the emotional body. This stunts your ability to go deeper in your own embodiment. Okay. So anything that you're doing to try to expand your consciousness while you're still engaging with substances is a rocky road. Because with one hand, you're moving into embodiment, with the other, you're undoing it. With the one hand, you're evolving the emotional body, with the other, you're undoing it. However, the key here is commitment. If you commit to 30 days with the intention of going deeper, then you will have no choice but to meet it on a daily basis. If you commit to a week, then you will have no choice but to meet it on a daily basis. If you commit to a day, then you will have no choice but to meet it throughout the day. So if it's too challenging to commit to a month, commit to a day, commit to an hour, whatever it is. And if it's too challenging to commit to dropping the substance, because dropping the substance is a negative focus, commit to a positive focus. Something where you're practicing that brings more awareness into your body. Rather than focusing on not doing something, focus on doing something. And it can be a zany focus. For example, maybe for a day, the focus is just brought to 5 minutes of breathing every hour. So every single hour, I just put my hand over my chest and I breathe. So I can set a timer on my phone. It goes off every single hour, and every single hour, for 5 minutes on the hour, I breathe. And this is quite zany. But what is it doing? It's interrupting the habit, habitual thinking, habitual behavior. It's bringing the focus into the body and more awareness around the habit-based behavior and the habit-based thought. And so naturally, when this is the focus, eventually it will break the habit-based behavior. Eventually, it will no longer feel good to engage with a substance in that way. And it will feel better to be present. Now, because the consciousness on this planet is so accustomed to numbing out through using substances in a habitual way, then this presents other challenges, such as people in your environment also using substances. So if you're really dedicated to your own environment, to your own embodiment, then questions about who and what you're around will arise. And you will need to make choices. Choices that can often be difficult because when we're really used to meeting our fears and our limiting ideas and beliefs through reactive patterns that bring us into substance abuse, then there's also a strong resistance to change. And so that strong resistance to change is holding on to old ideas and beliefs which look like the place that you live, which look like the people that you hang out with. And these ideas will say things like, oh, but it's love to stay with these people. It's love. I'm doing a good thing. I'm being kind to them. I'm loving them if I stay in this environment. If I continue to hang out with people who are drinking, if I continue to hang out with people who are smoking or are abusing drugs and alcohol, this is loving them. Bullshit. That is not love. That is excuses. You are justifying not changing, not growing, not expanding, not evolving your own consciousness. You are justifying staying in the pattern. If what is showing up in your life is a lot of people that are continuing to abuse drugs and alcohol and are continuing to do things that are completely out of alignment with their own embodiment, meanwhile, your focus is your evolution, your growth, your self-love, your self-care, then there is something out of alignment there that needs to be seen. There is deeper to go. There is further to feel. Because when you are in alignment, what shows up is people that also care about their own self-growth, their own self-awareness, their own self-love. And then you are meeting others in the same frequency, love. So don't deceive yourself. Don't make excuses, because those compromises pull you back into that vibration. It is not true that you need to be around people that are abusing drugs and alcohol. This is false. If you are truly embodying yourself, then your self-care, your own embodiment, your own self-love, and ability to be fully present with you and what you're feeling is the priority. Always. There is nothing more important than that. That is your dedication. That is your commitment to truth. On this planet, we have been making excuses for a very long time. And all of those excuses lead back to the same place. Being the victim, not feeling love, and needing some sort of drug or substance to make you feel better. And this, my friends, is hell. Heaven is what is true. Heaven is all around us. Heaven is within you. Heaven is the only reality that is true. And yet, if you believe a lie, what you will see, what you will perceive is hell. So stop making excuses. Stop making excuses for others and stop making excuses for yourself. If you are serious, if you are dedicated, then you will be uncompromising. And the seriousness is simply a way of aligning yourself with what is true. So don't take it too seriously. Because truth is always whole and complete, is always seeing that it is whole and complete no matter what shows up. And so within that wholeness and completeness, then anything that arises can be met, and there's nothing that is serious. But you're not going to feel this, you're not going to recognize this, you're not going to fully embody this if you are not unwavering in your commitment to it. And so there isn't a spectrum where substance abuse is permitted if you are committed, you see. Because it all has to align with your intent. If you are committed to truth, if you are committed to your own embodiment, it's one and the same, then there isn't a spectrum where compromise is permitted. You will be unwavering. That is what commitment is. So build up your wards, build up your mental defenses, become uncompromising in your commitment to your embodiment. And if you need guidance, if you need assistance, if you don't know what you're doing, but you still feel a pull towards embodiment, you still want to embody, then get with someone who can guide you. Get with someone who can show you the way. But don't stay stuck. Choose. Become committed. So those of you who are committed or who want to become committed, have a pull towards commitment, I invite you to join the group. It will be open for the remainder of the 99 days. I posted the link to the group on my page, my Facebook page, and my profile. 99 Days of Deeper Embodiment is the name. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye now.